Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. We have, unfortunately, what we have at this moment is what looks like a school shooting at an elementary school. We believe at this point 14 children and one teacher have been killed. We also believe at this point that the gunman is dead, and we believe that the gunman also has his grandmother is a victim. We don't know her status yet. This is in Texas, and at this point, what we believe. No sound. Okay. Yeah, we're having. All right. I'll look into that. Thank you. So, yeah, it's looks like a high school student. He was 18 years old. This was not his school. It looks like it may have been a school in his district. It was an elementary school. Obviously, at 18, he's not an elementary school student. He was a student at Uvlade. Oh, Jesus, I'm not going to pronounce that one. High school. He was 18 years old. He is at this point dead. It looks like he shot his grandmother earlier in the morning or earlier in the day, and then. All right, stand by one. Yeah. It looks like he shot his grandmother, or she's been injured. We don't know what it is. Presumably she was shot, and then went on a rampage at Robb Elementary School. So it is the same town. It looks like it's the same district in Uvdale. I'm not even going to bother. In Texas. Governor Greg Abbott looks like is speaking now on it, and Joe Biden has said he's going to discuss it later tonight. We're going to be doing our regularly scheduled programming tonight. We do have a show at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to continue with that, I think. So this was described as an active shooter situation. At this point, we don't believe it is. We believe that, information is coming in. It's coming in late. At first, it looked like it was poorly worded, which these things often are. It's nobody's fault. It's tough to write these things quickly and get it done. But it looked like there had only been 2 deaths. But at this point, it's 14 children. One teacher. This would make it sort of on par with the Columbine shooting and reasonably close to the Parkland school shooting in terms of deaths. He shot his grandmother, entered the school, and that we can tell started stalking and killing kids at the school. This was in Texas. I give Texas a hard time. A lot, and it's deserved all of it that I can tell. I first really got ticked off at Texas because of Rick Perry. They elected this guy, and they can elect who they choose, but he was clearly for sedition and for Texas seceding from the Union. I agree with him. Certainly did then. If you guys really think that the patriotic thing to do is to leave this country, then go. I've been told more often than not by Texans that if I don't like this country, I should leave. Well, maybe they should go. But never mind that he knew then it was impossible. And I know he knew because while I didn't credit him with a whole bunch of intelligence, I knew he could add 2 plus 2. And since the federal government made up 30% of the Texas state budget, he's not going anywhere, and he knows it. But didn't stop him from fomenting this and not really caring about the violence and what it does to the unity of us as a country. Well, it's easier to get elected when you're splitting people, not when you're bringing them together. At any rate, a number of these, a significantly disproportionate number of these killings and mass shootings have been in Texas. And I have to say, I'm reaching the point where I'm thinking maybe someone should look into that. I wanted to, right before the show, I was trying to get a sort of a rundown of how this compares to many of the mass shootings, and I was looking over them. And the number that have been in Texas, it's just, I was going through it, and I was just like, Texas, Virginia, Connecticut, Texas. Apparently gun culture isn't to blame. I've said this before, and I'm hoping as Andring can make it, I know it'll be available shortly. We'll see. I don't want to continue this stream any longer than I need to, but there's no way we weren't going to cover this. I will say this. Andring has brought up a few points, and here I'm arguing. This is what's called a empty chair interview, because he's not here to give his points, and he is as mortified by these things as I am, and I know that. But one of the things is how many people die from this kind of thing a year. You can fudge the numbers, but being reasonably conservative, about half as many as die on our freeways. Well, does that mean we should take away cars? I'm talking about taking away guns. Why aren't I talking about taking away cars when they kill more people? Well, here's the thing. It's a law of declining returns. We have spent a great deal of time and money in making cars safer, and they get safer every year. We add airbags, but the more we add, the more we have to add to make an even more significant improvement in safety. The concern isn't just how many people die, but how much can we do to improve the situation as it is. If I could Thanos snap every car, every motor vehicle out of existence, 1 billion people would die. We need trucks, we need cars, and imagine if all cars stopped working in the U.S., all vehicles. You're not going to get produce to the supermarket. How long are you going to be able to last without the food in the supermarket? There's realistically only so much we can do to improve car safety, and we still do it. And we still try, and invented the seatbelt, and we are improving airbags, and we spend a lot of money on it. But again, it's a law of declining returns. If we spend $1 billion improving cars, we'll save lives. But how many lives can we save putting that money in other areas? And that's sort of the question we always ask ourselves. If I could Thanos snap every gun out of the United States, every single one, where would we be tomorrow? What damage would it do to society to not have any more guns? Now, this is a bit unfair because I can't do that, of course, and there's a good guy with a gun and bad guy with a gun argument and all that other stuff. But this is why gun control has to be on the table in the U.S. because, yeah, there are other things that kill people too, but this is something we should be able to do something about. They have in other countries, but apparently I'm told all the time that I hate America because I think we can do better. And I'm sitting there going, why do you hate America? Because you think we can't. Every other country's been able to solve this problem. And mass shootings still happen in other countries. But compare that to the U.S. Compare that to where we are. We can't fix this. We're that barbaric. We're that stupid. We can't find a way to get... I don't know. That's what it sounds like the argument is. Maybe I'm wrong. And by the way, none of these is Andring's arguments, so let's not straw man the conservative on the show, who those of you who've been with us for any length of time know he's a passionate and very intelligent individual. So, but what gets me is I don't understand why we can't do something about this, and why my children who are of this age have to be scared to go to school. And you can sit there and say maybe they should be more scared of the car ride because it is more likely to kill them right now.
Yeah, but there's something particularly terrifying about
some of these numbers are going
up.
The number of murders are going up, and 47% of the murders last year were done by handgun. It's not including the other guns, shotguns, and by the time you include shotguns and every other weapon, I forget what it is, but take knives, hands, fists, all that other stuff, makes up less than 10%. Just because there are other things that can kill you and maybe are even more dangerous doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing this, especially when it shouldn't be that hard. The only reason it's that hard that I can tell is because people want to make it that hard. And I've heard arguments that I can empathize with as to why maybe there should be exceptions and people should be able to have guns. And they do in many of these countries. They don't have this. Just joining us, 14 students, one teacher at an elementary school have been shot and killed today. The suspect is an 18-year-old boy. He was at the high school. He apparently shot his grandmother. We don't know her status. Went into an elementary school and opened fire.
No, he can't hear me.
I think what's shocking about this, because you look at the numbers and you say, yeah, it's not the same as driving or anything like that. But this is what we as human beings, for one reason or another, do to each other. And not a lot. This isn't the majority. But there's enough of us out there that do this, and you wonder what it takes to create a monster that could do this, and why do we make it so easy for them? Because it is. And then when we're talking about, if the NRA were reasonable and willing to enact reasonable gun legislation, then I might not be for getting rid of every single gun. But I've got no choice at this point, because the NRA has decided their reasonableness goes out the window. There are reasonable people on the right who are pro-Second Amendment. There really are. Much as I hate to admit it, and I hope Zandring never sees this show, because I don't want him to realize I consider him one of those reasonable people. But because it's the unreasonable ones that are controlling it, it's because it's the unreasonable ones who are saying, you must be allowed to get a gun under any set of circumstances. And they won't say that publicly, but when they allow the gun show loophole to continue, and that loophole means anybody can get a gun at any time. That's what it means. It turns out Zandring is on, and everyone else can hear him, and I can't.
Yeah.
Dear Lord. Yeah, I was having sound issues. So
I should have taken advantage of that.
Okay, I will be honest. This is how I prefer the show, quite frankly, is with Zandring being able to. So I sincerely apologize, Zandring. Let me try to fix this. We had a whole host of issues, and I couldn't even tell if Zandring was in the room. So I can't see Zandring. It turns out I can't hear him. I was just notified by our head mod that he's in fact in the room, and you all else can hear him. I'd sit there and let him speak. But okay, I can at least see him now. And you can hear him even though the NDI is off. I don't even know what's going on with our systems today. This was not a good day for this, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset my audio, and with any luck, I'll be able to hear Zandring. So please stand by one. Right, that may or may not be on this. We'll give this one more second here. Hopefully you guys, I think you guys will still hear me. The headpiece is a separate set. Let me try one more time here to reset my audio. I apologize. Now I feel like I feel terrible as Zandring was sitting there and I was talking to him. Like, so I'm going to talk behind his Zandring's back because he ain't here. He's what? He's in the room? All right. This may
not only am I in
fix
the
it.
room,
So
I'm actually saying things.
This was not an easy day for this time. I'm gonna grant this was not an easy day. I was out with my girls. We were having ice cream, and I had to come in for this, which I didn't want to do. Zandring, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me now?
Right, you're talking. I can't hear you. Let me. Dear Lord. And they can hear you. That's they can hear you, and I can't. This is a first. And apparently they couldn't hear the music. That means, and I have a control board here that lets me control the entire show, and the control board is down. So I have almost no control over any element of the show. I'm actually running most of this manually here. So you guys can hear him. I cannot. I suppose what I could do is listen to the show on the outside and catch up with him. That would create one hell of a lag. Is there any other means that I can think of by which at this point there's one more way. It might create an echo. If you guys hear an echo, let me know and we'll try to fix that. But I'd like to be able to hear Zandring, especially if I'm going to be panning him. All right. Zandring, Zandring, why don't you just speak for a couple of minutes anyway? I probably won't be able to hear you. I'll interrupt and let you know if and when I can hear you. But if you're talking, at least it's easier to see on the voice control. So let me give you a minute or two, understanding that I won't be able to hear a thing you say.
Okay. Yeah, it's tragic, and it's like nobody wants to see the deaths of people, especially in what we would consider senseless shootings. And it's like you and I actually agree on a lot more about guns than you would think. It's like I could agree with you if you could just snap your fingers, Thanos style, and eliminate all firearms from the world. I would be all for that. I would be right there next to you, beating you alongside the head, saying, "Well, have you snapped your fingers yet? Hurry up." The reality of the situation is you can't do that. That makes things really, really difficult.
All right, so I can tell when you're talking. We're getting audio levels. It's just not coming into the headset, and I was getting the music earlier. So there's a way to cheat the system if I can get into it, but it's things are a little crazy out here. I'm going to assume that whatever Zandring said was intelligent and I gotta stop complimenting the guy.
Dangerously.
I'm going to assume he said
that's
something.
Dangerous.
All right, let me.
I mean, if it weren't such a serious topic, I might actually just start saying.
Please go. I don't know what you're saying, but I'll let you say it. I'm having a hard time concentrating and doing like 16 things at once now. So it's like I can't. I kind of know exactly what I got to do to fix this, and I can't even remember how to do it. Oh dear Lord! You realize though, actually, this cuts both ways, right? Because I can't actually. You now have, as Andrew, you now have carte blanche to say just about anything you want to on our air, and I have no idea what you're saying, and I probably shouldn't be reminding you of that, but that seems to be the thing. So let me do another quick rundown. What we have at this point is it looks like a high school student in Texas, 18 years old, shot his grandmother. We don't know what her status is. Went into a elementary school in the same town. Has killed one teacher, 14 students. A number of others are injured. We don't know their status. We do know that the local hospital is reporting that they do have wounded that they are treating. We don't know the prognosis on any of them. We don't know the status or prognosis of the grandmother. We don't know the motive. We don't know much. We know that he had, we believe, a handgun, and police are saying at this point possibly a rifle. And that's literally all we have. And as I said, I'm sorry. I guess I'm running on very little sleep, and so apologies for being out of it and not being able to get this together. And yeah. So let me. I don't know. It seems unfair to have as Andring Phil, especially when I can't say anything or reply, but I'm Xander, if you don't mind taking it for another minute or two. Like I said, I can see when you're talking. I'm seeing the levels. They're just not coming through on the audio. And anything that I do that would guarantee that I could hear you would also probably would cut you off from the outside. So, oh, you know what? Now I'm sorry. My memory just kicked in, and I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, I know exactly how to do this. I don't know why I haven't. Oh, and that says it's working, and it's not. Well, this is an unusual set of circumstances. All right, there may be one way I can listen to you, so I'm going to try something.
They're about 6 to 12, 5 to 12 for elementary school. And there is a toxic gun culture in the United States, and I stay well away from them. I do not like them, and I make fun of them a lot. They're the kinds that it's like I've got my 30 ARs and 120 million rounds of ammunition because the zombie apocalypse is coming, and and I'm out there all macho and just itching and waiting for the collapse to come so I can be out there shooting. And these people don't have any clue what real collapse events look like, and it just leads to a really toxic. They've tied like their entire identity to the firearms and weaponry that they own, and I really wish we could do away with that. It's like I own firearms; they're tools. I own them for very specific reasons. It's not like I'm running around everywhere with them. I do practice with them to make sure that I am proficient so that I don't accidentally shoot somebody, because I'm responsible for every round that I fire. It really pisses me off when you see, especially on like YouTube or a lot of them have moved to other platforms where they're running around doing like crazy things with their guns, and you just think, okay, this is normal. And it's like, yeah, no, that is a very dangerous tool that you have in your hands, and you better respect it. And it seems like there's a lot of people that aren't, and then you have people that go unhinged and decide they're going to take a firearm and just, burn the world down and kill as many people as they can. And it's a huge problem, and one that I actually am interested in trying to fix without stripping away the people's rights to keep and bear arms. So there's a lot of things that I agree with Nick on. I mean, we should be able to fix this problem, or at least start addressing it. It's been a very concerning trend that gun active shooter scenarios or active shooter incidents, as defined by the FBI, have actually been on the rise. I believe it was 2011, or no, it was 2001, and just last year there was like 22 of them. So you can look at the actual graphic, and it's just been a more or less fairly even, steady climb in the numbers. And there's some other things that are tied up in this as well, as in violent crime as a whole has been going up. It dropped precipitously from about the early to mid 90s and dropped through the mid 2000s, and now it seems to be slowly edging its way back up. So it's tragic, and we should be working on solutions to this. I'm not entirely sure if Nick's figured out his audio yet, or if he's just still letting me talk.
All right. So I in regards to what Xandring just said, I completely agree. Disagree? I don't know. I'm making jokes, and I have no idea what he said. It may have been. So I do apologize. At this point, it looks like without restarting everything, I'm not going to be able to get control of the sound. So I'm not going to be able to hear Xandring. You can, and that's probably more important. But I certainly appreciate Xandring being here and giving us his perspective. This right now appears to be on par with roughly the size, at least, of the Columbine shooting. It looks like 14 children are dead. One teacher, Governor Greg Abbott, is speaking, I believe, right now. President Biden has said he's going to speak later on. The other thing is I do have, let's see, so if Xandring wants to type anything, I can probably, I sort of got control of at least, I can see the chat in the back end. I can see the green room chat, but I cannot hear him. So, and probably the only way to, again, get it so I could hear him would be to switch his sound over to my headset, and then you guys can't. So I do apologize. That's all on me, or the nearest Canadian. Well, it looks like the show just... yeah, that's interesting. I have no idea what just happened there. There we go. Oh, it's okay. That was weird. This was an interesting day for the system to just start. All right. No worries. Well, thank you. All right, that's really bizarre. I can actually hear. I can hear the dings when he said. I have no idea at this point. Don't ask me. I just run things over here, presumably. All right. I think we're probably actually going to close this out at this point. I've seen Jon Stewart, and of course Jon Stewart doesn't do his show anymore, but I remember towards the end it was just like, what else are you going to say? This is all we this happens frequently enough. We've all been here. We're going to be discussing it, I think, on our Discord. We're going to be doing our regular show tonight. We're going to have on Reverend Martin Joss and Marianne. Both have been on the show before. We're going to talk about Christian atheism in general, Christianity in general, and sort of the tension between those camps. And hope you guys will join us for that. In the meantime, once again, another school shooting, Texas, 14 students dead, one teacher dead. The suspect is dead, 18-year-old from the local high school. apparently shot his grandmother, went into the elementary school and started shooting it up. We don't have any motive. We don't know anything. We also don't know how many are injured. So we're hoping that the numbers don't exceed that. At this point, we'll be keeping up on it in the Discord. We have a news section there. We will be updating people as it comes, and we usually get this information really pretty cutting edge. So come on in, join us on the Discord, and look forward to catching up with everybody later tonight when we have on our guests, as Andring will be there for that as well. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you later.